This is ThriveCasters,
Thriving, not surviving.
tackling youth issues that matter to you.
Welcome to this week's episode of ThriveCasters, where we will be discussing life after lockdown. Your hosts today are me, Waseelah Smedley, and Hannah Galloway. So, it's a very relevant topic today. As lockdown measures begin to lift, there's a lot of discussions about what our communities will be like post-COVID. From social distancing to changes in employment, we want to know the challenges and opportunities life after lockdown might bring. So, to start with, what does the new normal look like?
Yeah, so like the new normal for me, like I've changed jobs, I've got way more in touch with my own hobbies. That's for me. But then in terms of like outside, and I guess everybody would have seen the supermarkets have got the signs on the floor. I know there's going to be the masks for the supermarkets next week.
Mm-hmm.
But the new normal is changing all the time, and I think that's what the biggest overriding feeling is the fact that it's literally every week is changing what we can and we can't do. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same. So, like, the new normal is looking forward to when the next thing opens up. So I'm looking forward to the gym. And then, last week we were looking forward to shops, and it's going to be like that every time. So up to next year, when it will be the new normal of we can actually just be fine, which will be cool. Aroon, what do you think?
Generally, I'm just happy that everything's slowly starting to open up. But I think I'm more looking forward to like gatherings. I think like with my friends in the mosque and stuff.
Yeah. Have you guys had little parties or anything yet?
I've been to had a tea party at my mum's. I think it's been different for like different areas. Was it common for you guys to have like gatherings and stuff during lockdown? I don't know about you, for Waseelah. Like, did you know of anyone breaking the rules?
I heard of a few people breaking the rules, but we were very strict about it, mostly because I'm asthmatic and I don't want to, like, the pneumonia doesn't sound nice. But yeah, just coming out of it though, so we met up with a lot of family over the weekend, but it's weird just not giving people hugs. So we've just started greeting with like fist bumps or elbow bumps. And it's little things like that are really odd, but then like the young kids can't figure it out and they just run to give you a hug, and it's like I have to give in.
Yeah. How about you, Aroon? Do you know of anyone that's broken the rules during lockdown, or like games and stuff?
Do you know, to be honest, I don't want to sound like a good person, but I was probably one of the few that did break the rules as well, because I was not indoors at all. Yeah,
no, I know of a few people that had like house parties and stuff. So I think a lot of people, and at the moment, in terms of like things at the moment, like rules in terms of how far we should stay apart and stuff, I don't have a clue. I don't know what's going on right now. I know that we're meant to have masks, but I don't know whether we're meant to be socially distancing at 1 meter, 2 meters. I don't know what's happening at the moment. I don't know whether you guys feel that you know.
I think my mum has a mandatory watching the news at 10 o'clock. So
yeah.
But yeah, the thing is that even as Britain, we've just sort of been the laughing stock of global media because nobody can make up their minds. And every time Michael Gove opens his mouth, we just become more and more confused. And they wrap it up in the notion of common sense.
Yeah.
But there is no common sense in this because this is not common. This is completely abnormal.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. With that being said, so obviously we've got the new normal, which is like ever changing, and as you said, we're still looking forward to things being open. So now we're kind of coming out of lockdown. Is there anything that you will miss about lockdown? Waseelah, if you want to answer first.
I guess it was nice to have everything on pause and nice to not run after trains and things, to be in places and be on time for things. And like I've done a lot of work that I probably wouldn't have done because I am just at home and because I know exactly what's going to happen and exactly where I'm going to be, because nothing's interrupting it, I can just plan it really, really well and actually invest a lot more time in things than I would, especially because, you're not spending time going out, you're not spending time doing other things, or wasting money on extra pairs of shoes, or like, and all of these extra little things that, I guess I've saved a lot of money and I've done a lot of stuff. Irene, what do you think?
To be honest, I actually agree with you as well. I think the fact that being like under lockdown rules, well, like, technically I wasn't, but you get trying to say like half the other places were closed. I saved a lot of money. I got to spend much more time with my family. I got to eat more healthy because I was controlling because generally when you're outside, you're hungry. You can't really choose what you want. It's just whatever is more convenient with time and everything. So I managed to kind of get myself into a routine and like understand things like more, if that makes sense.
I really agree with the fact that like getting more work done that you wouldn't have used. Like I've got a completely different job now after lockdown, and I don't really know whether I would have had that. And I also started drawing and stuff, which I haven't done for years. And yeah, I just feel like I kind of understand myself a little bit better and had more time to pause. And I felt like the world has been less about money and more about like community. I mean, I guess it is still very much so about money, but that's just been taken off it a little bit for me.
Which is a good question, actually. So, like, how do we sustain that sense of community and these new attitudes? And I guess it feels quite holistic as well. And like trying to keep this motivation, I don't really know how I would manage to do that when everything goes back to normal.
Yeah, the community sense of it. Like when we were in full on lockdown, I remember when everyone was kind of like going out to clap and like everybody was everybody was in the same situation. Like everybody had to stay indoors and only go for one walk a day. Well, that's what they were supposed to be doing. Yeah. And so we all had that thing in common. And so that just automatically up a sense of community. So since it hasn't been like that and lockdown's been lifted, I definitely haven't felt such a strong sense of community. But there's still things that have happened that have almost built a community out of it. So I'm more involved with this organisation. I've got a group chat with my close friends and my family. It's like a big group chat, and that nearly every day, whereas we wouldn't have done that before. And also I realised the actual importance of community in the first place. If it wouldn't have happened, I don't think I would have realised how important and how much purpose community can give you. Aroon, what you think about community, etc.?
Generally, like the area that I grew up in anyway is quite like a tight-knit community. So like I told you, like I was breaking the rules, etc. I was literally with my friends from like across the road, same block and everything. I was just literally going to the park and all playing together. So like I even before like that, I think community is a very like strong issue because like it helps develop the child. So like when I was growing up, seeing the people around me that like impacted me a lot. So even for the new generation, I think seeing people that show you love, check up on you and everything, that's what you need, because like that's what they're going to see and that's what they're going to do in the future as well.
I think that's something everybody learned though. So like I don't have such a strong community here. But yeah, I think I value my friendships a lot more, and I value, you value just the person that you see on the street that you now say hello to, that you didn't used to say hello to. It's little things like that, because everybody's been in the same boat and everybody feels vulnerable.
Yeah, I haven't grown up in a strong sense of community either. When I went to uni in Swansea, which was a smaller area, there was more of a sense of community. But I feel like in Birmingham, depending on which area you're in, so like I'm from Bourneville, you massively really feel. I don't know if it's because Birmingham's so big, yeah, like, you know how you go to certain places and it's like everybody knows everyone. It wasn't really like that for me. Like, you know, when you go to the ball ring or whatever, you don't see everyone that you know, do you?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you feel that like for you guys now, that now we've got this new normal and we still are kind of a little bit unsure whether, oh, might we go back into lockdown, or might something like that happen, or, you know, even though things are normalizing, do you guys feel that your future is more uncertain? Waseelah, if you want to go first.
I think, I mean, my future was uncertain anyway, because I'm at that point where I don't really know what happens next. But I think with lockdown, there's been the opportunity, like, as you said, that you've got a job that you would never imagine that you would have got if it weren't for lockdown. I'm sort of doing the same because I've had so much time to be able to catch up on reading, and I've learned things like Photoshop and that kind of stuff, which means that I have more opportunities and broadening where it is that I could go. So, I mean, it was, I think lockdown actually gave me more security than I would have had without it, because I've been able to sit down and actually hone in on skills and figure out what it is that I want to do and where I want to go. So after that, and going back to uncertainty, yeah, I think that one's going to be tough, but I think that's just what happens when you finish your degree and then you try to figure out what happens next.
Yeah.
Aroon, what do you think?
You know, generally, like, I don't really like planning for the future because I don't know what tomorrow holds. So, like, even before this lockdown, how I used to live, like, was like till the next day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, probably like next week or something, plan what's gonna happen in the week or something, but nothing too far ahead, because, like, I know things will change, like, and we have no control over things.
I think that's how we've been living anyway. Sorry, carry on, Hannah.
No, that's quite a refreshing way to think, actually. Just like, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, because we definitely didn't know that coronavirus was going to happen. I think it's good to be balanced, isn't it? Like, kind of plan for the future, but kind of almost don't wholeheartedly rely on it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what we've had to do in lockdown anyway, because we can only see a week into the future. Like, I didn't plan last week the week before last, I didn't know that I'd be able to go out and buy food like I did last week, and then I don't know what I'll be able to do this week and next week. And so I've actually made plans for the end of next week, and that's quite scary. We haven't been able to do that in a long time.
Yeah.
So I guess the final question is, did we learn anything new in lockdown, and will we take that with us?
As you said at the beginning, the importance of pause. So just being on the go all the time. For people that have a predisposition to anxiety, I don't necessarily think is a good thing. So before lockdown, I was kind of doing meditations occasionally here and there, whereas now I try and do one every other day, if not every day. So that is like a huge thing for me, because before I'd just be like, what have I got to do? I've got to do this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't realise that I rarely just sat with myself and sat with, like, me as a person. I was always focusing on other stimulus or what I was going to do next. And just enjoying things in the present, and like, now I get to see people and enjoy things and do stuff like that. Like, I feel more gratitude, and I appreciate being able to do these things more. But also, as well, I feel like I've realised the importance of, say, if you've got a dream but you're too scared to do it, or or you're worrying about it and stuff. If something keeps coming back to you and you keep thinking about it, that is kind of telling you something in terms of maybe you should go and try it. And that's what I am going to be doing next year. Hopefully I will be able to travel. So yeah, if anything, I think even though lockdown has put a massive pause on everything, and there's been obviously there was a lot of lives lost, and there was a really negative side of it, I actually took away a lot of positives from the big pause and time to almost like find myself again.
What do you think, Aroon? What are you going to take away from lockdown?
So generally, like, I thought about this deep. You know, for me, like, everything was pretty much the same. So there was nothing new that I could have done. I like, honestly, you know how people was panicking about. I was not like, I don't even watch the news, to be honest. So like, I'm unaware of anything and everything, and I was literally relaxed in my own kind of zone, in my own world, and that, and enjoying life. But I was hearing about certain people, like, their family members have got like corona or something, and they're not allowed to go to the hospital. And I think that aspect made me realize, I think, like, you know, generally with our family members, we don't like, for example, if I leave the house today, I'm like, oh, I'll see you in a bit, but there's no guarantee in that. So then I started to cherish, you know, like, appreciate all the people that are close to me, that check up on me, and they're making effort. Because like, situation like this, if they ended up in hospital and you can't see them, and then that was the last ever moment, kind of sits on your chest differently. So I think, I don't know, showing appreciation more to my family members, I think, if anything.
Same. I think it's been interesting because it's the first time that me and all of my siblings, that we've all been home for years, because we're moving out for uni or for jobs, and then this was a moment where we actually all came home, and it's been really nice to, like you say, like, appreciate everything, and that everything is, that we're all together, and actually we've missed each other a lot, which we didn't realize, and lockdown makes you realize how much you've missed each other, and also how much, like, as everything's temperamental, and it's a lot heavier, and now we're actually all a lot closer as well, which is a lifelong thing. So, you know, like as you said, Hannah, like, everything is, like, it's been quite negative, but there are also some really good positives to take out of it. So I think that about wraps it up. That's been a really cute podcast, I think. Thank you for joining us today and for listening in. Don't forget to follow us on social media at onpointwm and #ThriveCasters. And we hope you've enjoyed what you've been hearing, and join us next time for more conversations that matter to you.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at onpointwm and #ThriveCasters. Join us next time for more conversations that matter to you.